Welcome back to the channel, Book Dragons. I am so glad you're here with me today. If it sounds like I am under the weather, yes, I am under the weather. And so I figured today would be a good chance to do the end of the year book tag. It's short, it's sweet, and I'm seeing a lot of people doing it. And I've done it in the past. I was looking in my previous videos, and the last time I actually did this book tag was at the end of 2021. That's a long time ago now, guys. So I figured we would do a refresher. This is a really fun tag, and just give you kind of an idea of what I'm looking at for the rest of the year. So the eyes have to go on. Getting my eyes on there. And I've got the prompts right here. And we're going to get going with this. And just to let you know, I don't know who created this. I don't think I knew who created this at the time I did it the last time. The last person I saw do this was Tom Orange, and that reminded me, I'm like, oh, that would be a cool book tag to do. So thank you, Tom Orange, for jogging my memory and putting it at the forefront of my thoughts. So here we go. We are starting on prompt number 1. Are there any books you started this year that you need to finish? Yes, there are 2 actually, so I'm going to show you what they are. That would be The Justice of Kings by Richard Swan and The Child Thief by Brom. Both of these books I temporarily stopped reading. I'm not permanently DNFing them. I do want to get back to reading them at some point, but I'm not going to read them before the end of this year. That's just not happening. And I think the question kind of says, it kind of implies that I should finish them before the end of the year, but I'm not going to. So, sorry guys, I will maybe get back to them next year at some point. If it comes up in one of my reading prompts, I might get back to it. So, there you go. That is the answer to that question. All right, prompt number 2. Do you have an autumnal book? I love that word, autumnal. It just, yeah, okay, anyway. Do you have an autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? Not technically. Now, there is a book that is wintry, which I guess could kind of be autumnal if you're kind of in that period of the year where the leaves are changing and you're starting to get the first snows and everything, which we know nothing about in Arizona. But you could count this book. It's a very wintry book, and that is The Ice Dragon by George R. R. Martin. I very, very much want to read this. I'm hoping to read this before the end of the year. It's a really short book, and I thought about putting it off for another time when I could do like a shorty September or something like that where I read short books all month, but I decided I really want to read this and knock it out before the end of the year. I love George R. R. Martin, and I just feel like I need to read this. And I understand it's kind of in the same world as A Song of Ice and Fire, so that's kind of cool. All right, so prompt number 3 is get your tea. No, I'm kidding. That's not the prompt. Prompt number 3. Is there a new release you're still waiting for? Yes, there is, and I think this is everybody's answer. Everybody I've been seeing talking about their end of the year books, Wind and Truth by Brandon Sanderson is on that list. It comes out December 7th, I believe, and I will be reading that book as soon as it comes out. It's the last book in the first arc of the Stormlight Archive, and it's the last Cosmere book that I need to read to have completed the entire Cosmere so far. So it's a very momentous occasion. I'm pretty excited about it, and I'm very curious to see where he takes the story and how he ends this first section of the saga. So, yeah, there we go. Prompt number 4. What are 3 books you want to read before the end of the year? Well, one of those I already mentioned, The Ice Dragon. The other two are God Emperor of Dune and Rise of Endymion. Now, I'm currently reading Children of Dune as we speak. And so once I finish that, I do want to at least read God Emperor of Dune before the end of 2024. And then, of course, Rise of Endymion is the final book in the Hyperion Cantos, and I'm super excited to finish that and see where it goes. So those are 3 books that I want to read before the end of the year. I could have put Wind and Truth in there, but I already said Wind and Truth for another prompt. So there we go. Prompt number 5, and take another drink of my tea here, preserve my voice. Is there a book you think could still shock you and become your favorite book of the year? Yes, there is. And I honestly don't think it would be much of a shock. And that is Fool's Fate. I'm actually almost finished with Fool's Fate. That's the final book in the Tawny Men trilogy by Robin Hobb. And I absolutely am just adoring this book. So I had already mentioned one book that was a contender for my book of the year, and that was Somewhere Beyond the Sea by T.J. Klune. But I tell you guys, Fool's Fate, I'm thinking it's going to come very close. It's going to be a neck and neck race between those two. I just have a feeling that Fool's Fate is going to take that for me. And so, yeah, I guess I wouldn't necessarily be shocked. But yeah, it's definitely a possibility for that being my book of the year. So, prompt number 6, and this is the final prompt. Have you already started making reading plans for next year? Yes, I have. I will be putting out a video closer to the end of November probably, or maybe the first part of December, talking about some of my plans for 2024. I don't know exactly when I'm going to be putting that out, but it is coming. I have started thinking through, and I've got some ambitious plans for next year. So we'll see what's going to happen with that. And not only reading plans, I have plans to get back into writing, because now that my book has officially released and is available to the public, shameless plug, I need to start writing another book. And so I've got plans for specific writing goals and writing check-ins that I'm hoping to do next year. So I'll be talking more about that coming up as well. So, but I do have some reading plans for next year. I'm really excited about what I'm going to be getting up to reading-wise next year. And some of it will be rereads, and some of it will be new books, and maybe I'll get around to finishing, a couple of these books that I said I hadn't finished yet. So I do have plans, and I kind of started thinking through it all the way back in August. And I know that seems crazy, but I just kind of like to plan ahead and think about what books I would like to read. And I'm constantly seeing people talk about other books that are on my radar that I'm having FOMO about. And so there's a lot of stuff coming, but I can only do so much in a year. And I will be making a video about that in the next month and a half, somewhere in there. So stay tuned for that. I hope you enjoy that. And I think that about wraps up this tag, guys. I love this tag. It's short, sweet, concise. You get your answers, find out more about me and my reading plans, and let me know some of your answers to these prompts. I would love to dialogue with you in the comments. And until next time, guys, make sure you read more books, and don't get sick. Stay healthy this season, and I will talk to you very soon. And I'd like to give a huge shout out to all of my patrons. I really appreciate all that you do to support the channel.